This is the Yasutomo mineral paper made from calcium carbonate. This is a 9x12. It is 100 pounds, 150 GSM. And let's get a piece of this. First off, this paper feels very different from any other paper I've ever worked with. It's very smooth. It doesn't want to hold a crease very well. It doesn't feel like regular paper. It's very smooth. It's very, very different. Let's see what happens here. I have not worked on this paper much, so starting with our Posca and same type of shapes. And do some large letter. If you are working on this paper, you're going to need something underneath it. See, I get a much better line, so you're going to want something underneath it. It's taking a bit for that to dry. Microns, they're going along the surface pretty well. Let's try. The one is very fine, so sometimes I have a heavy hand, so I end up damaging the tips on these. Now, one thing I'm noticing is that my acrylic ink is taking a bit longer to dry. So as that dries, we're going to grab some of the watercolors. This is the core. That purple is very bossy. It is. Wow, look at that. Going to mix a little bit of it with the green here, turning it into kind of a navy blue and getting in toward my teal. That looks almost like it. So I'll do a little test here. Oh, look at that blue. I love the colors you can mix with this. Let's take a little bit of that off. We're coming on to, this is the mineral paper. First thing I immediately noticed, yes, that Posca, the acrylic ink sat on top. And it looks like this is doing the same thing. It's sitting there. Let's see what happens. I bring some of the yellow. Let's see if it'll blend on the page. Ooh, look at that. That's holding my attention. Okay, so I'm going to do a little drop in. It's interesting. So yes, it's sitting on the page so much. Let's duck into that blue. I'm going to mix those two together on the palette. What I'm doing as I'm testing these papers is I'm looking for how these basic supplies will react or how it will behave. Now you might be thinking, Roxanne, why don't you just change your supplies? Well, these are the ones that are easiest for me to travel with. They're easiest for me to pack up and go, or even to sit in my little nest in the evenings as I'm watching, I might be watching the latest on Apple TV or something, a little relaxation. As we expected, the acrylic ink is not moving. Look what happened. That's interesting. The Micron looks like it had not dried, so I'm getting a little movement on that Micron. This is why any class that we do, any SuperDoodleGirl class, we always spend the first week or so, especially with the cohorts, right? And what we want to do is we want to investigate our supplies. Because once you know how they will react on different papers, then you have more control over them. I do not know what is going on this paper because the Micron, which should not be moving, is moving. That's so interesting. I don't know what's going on there, but I do know that we're getting a lot of movement. I find it interesting. It's fun. Oh, look at that. So now I'm just going to make little blobs of it. It stays put until you kind of pierce that bubble of the water and then it moves. You can see that there's a little bit there. So it's very, very wet. So we're going to dry it off and let's see what happens. Okay, y'all, this is wild. Can you see what happened? When you apply heat to it, and I just kept going because once it started bubbling up, I was like, what is happening here? It becomes like this 3D, like it's not moving. I have no idea why it did this. If you know, just leave us a comment. Tell us what is going on here. I am going to just play on this page. So when something like this happens, this is what we call expectation failure. I thought I would just be able to dry off that paint, but instead, this weird thing happened. I don't know what happened. I learned that you can't use a heat gun on mineral paper. We're going to just let that one dry. My gosh, I have never seen. Okay, after that kind of traumatized me, y'all. Let's go to something that I'm pretty sure I know how it works.